Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show.
Hola.
Yeah, we are simulcasting today on Cory Mackinnon and Guiding D-Light Derek's channel. And Bev, the astrologer, is with us. Special guest, special unity, special coming together. I just wanted everybody to take a minute here and say hello to everyone coming on. Go ahead. Bev, Derek, Cory, say whatever you want to say to Spirit. We're going to get everybody together in just a second. So I'm going to do my little alignment thing in just a second. So you want to welcome people in your channels and all that and say hello? Go for it.
Who's going first?
Go ahead, Cory.
All right, I'll go first. Welcome in, everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome in, welcome all. This is Cory Mackinnon. We're here live. We're going to be, discussing, this is Soul Tribe Vibe Collab with Bev, Dee, and Linda, and we're going to be discussing the full moon, and some astrology, some updates, and some cards, and some fun, and some spirit conversation. So thank you guys again for this unified experience, for this unified container, and welcome in, welcome all to this beautiful broadcast. And now we'll move it on to the next wizard of choice.
Yeah, thanks. What's up, guys? Welcome back, everybody, for Guiding D-Light. Remember, we are Guiding D-Light together. Just another beautiful broadcast. Get to join some brothers and sisters on this one. Blue. We're all blued out. We're doing the blue moon. I got a little insights. I've pulled a few cards and really just wanted to expand on the telecommunication as well. So there's a good show and treat. We've got lots of different aspects and different avenues of energy that we're going to discuss, and we're going to blend it all together, and it's going to be beautiful while we do it. So put your seatbelts on. Let's do this.
Let's do this.
Let's do this. Go, Bev.
Okay, no, I was just going to say, good to be here tonight with everybody. I know the energies, everybody's been feeling them, especially with this Pisces full moon, but just looking forward to seeing what everybody has to say and what's going on, because I know all of us are feeling it on one level or another.
Yes, we are. As a matter of fact, when we first came on, I had just told everybody right before we came on, like I was going to say this, that, and the other, and it went out the window. So we are just showing up and letting Spirit kind of speak through us. What I want to do, if everybody doesn't mind, for just a minute, just to bring all the energies in together, anchor them as one unity consciousness, broadcast. I'm just going to tell everybody, please take a deep breath. Take a couple deep breaths, breathing your own cycle. But when you breathe in, just command the light of your soul to come in.
No, stay out of here. She's probably inside like she's supposed to be.
He's got the train too. So we're going to allow ourselves just a minute or two to continue breathing. So we're going to unite all of our energies as a divine anchor. We're going to bring in the soul light that is within us so that we can express only the highest and all the highest potentials on the spiral, going upward into the galactic, bringing in all the assistance that we need, all the channeled information, all the soul information, all of our soul's light codes that want to come in, all the blessings that will use our vessels as the node on the light highways that we are and that are through us and that are around us and connected to all of us that permeate everything. We're going to clear our chakras with intention. We're going to breathe it in real deep from the soul star all the way down in through the crown, down through the third eye, through the throat, into the heart. We're also going to pull up energy from the earth chakra, from the root chakra, the sacral center, the solar power center, solar plexus center, and then that up to the heart. So at the same time, when you're breathing in, it's coming down through the top and it's coming up from the bottom and it's resting right in the middle of your heart center. And feel that calm, peace, and that stillness. Okay, guys. We are anchoring in what we want to talk about today. And I want to kick it off and say, I know we're talking about the full moon, okay? I know we have a lot of things that we want to bring forward and our souls have been nudging us. And we know this is a very important broadcast for our tribes, for humanity. We're doing our work, we're showing up. I think what we want to do is first mention that tomorrow is not only the full moon. Bev, you're going to get into all the astrology, right, in just a second.
Yeah.
But it's not only a full moon, it's the first day of a new 13-day wave spell. So anybody who's following galactic time or the galactic spins or even the 13 moon calendar, if you're paying attention to that, we go moon cycle to moon cycle. You look at 13 days as a new wave spell. It's a chance to start something at the very beginning, and follow it through the 13-day wave spell. You can look all that up later if you want to, if you're not familiar with it. But it's not only that, it's also the first day of the 5th season in a galactic spin. The last season, it begins the harvest. I mean, how cool is that, right?
Nice.
So
Nice.
I saw that and I was like, oh, like alignment, and super full blue moon and all these things you're going to talk about. But I just had to bring that up because it really is the start of a new season tomorrow. And we're here tonight for under no coincidence. I didn't know that when we set up this date. I didn't realize all that. So I just wanted to bring that forward first and make sure that we keep that in mind while Bev's going through the astrology. So let me put something up for you. There you go.
Oh, thanks, Linda.
Sure.
Yeah, it's interesting, that we're all meeting tonight and stuff because, the full moon is tomorrow, but Neptune is the ruler of this full moon in Pisces. So Neptune is very prominent right now. And in the chart, Neptune is opposing Mercury. So think about that. You have Neptune, which is the spiritual, the intuitive, is opposing, the everyday linear mind. So it's trying to bring those together and find that meeting in the middle. So the fact that we're all sitting here talking, tonight, and that's happening tomorrow, there's just a lot in this chart. That was one of the things that kind of jumped out at me. So I know everybody's got to be feeling this too, because we have that happening with Neptune. And it's also making an opposition to Mars too, which Mars just went into Libra. And when Mars goes into Libra, it's in its detriment, they call it, because Mars rules Aries. And so when it's in Libra, it's farthest away from its sign. And everybody thinks of Libra, the peacemaker, let's not have any confrontations. Let's all get along. Well, with Mars going into Libra, Libras do have a little bit of a temper. And I think right now, if things aren't just and fair, a lot of Libras are going to be speaking up and saying things. And plus, we have the South Node in Libra too. We just had that change. We got the North Node in Aries and the South Node in Libra. So I see a lot of things coming to the forefront, and it's just going to progress. I was looking ahead. I don't know if everybody's heard people talking about September 23rd, but that's a big day. And that's the equinox. And I pulled up the chart for that. And my sister and I were looking at it together. She got into astrology years ago, and I'm kind of pulling her back into it again now that she retired. So we saw some interesting things in that chart, and that's a whole nother show. But I think what's happening here with this full moon tomorrow, it's that once in a blue moon thing. I think it's going to bring in a lot of things. I mean, you see how things are popping off now, things that everybody's talking about. You can't miss them unless you're totally blind. And I think that's a lot of Neptune being in Pisces there, and it's bringing it all out. It's in retrograde, so it's backing up again. What did we not see the first time? Because we've got 6 planets in retrograde right now. And to me, that's saying, okay, we're here. What have we missed? Another thing that jumped out at me in this chart too is that Pluto is squaring the nodes of fate. And we have the nodes in Aries and Libra. And it's like, what are we going to do here? Aries is about self. Libra is about how we act together and how we get along and work together. So I see a lot happening there with that. Let's see what else jumped out at me on this. You
Bev,
got Venus.
Bev, what did you say was squaring the nodes of fate?
Pluto is squaring the nodes of fate. Yeah.
Okay. Yikes.
But he's also making a trine to Uranus. So Pluto is the transformer, the rebirth, and all that. And it's making a trine to Uranus. So things are going to get shaken up and shaken out during this period too. And it's also trining Mars at the same time. So I see a lot of things coming to the forefront and a lot of things really popping off. And I think it's going to be where we really need to go into looking at things from a spiritual point of view rather than the linear mind, because ain't nothing going to make a damn bit of sense for a while. I mean, honestly, I think people are just going to sit back and go, I really believe that. It's going to throw a lot of people for a loop. But that's kind of what's jumping out at me. So
I think some of that's already starting to happen a little bit.
Yeah, we're close. So, usually you feel it
Yeah.
3 days before at least, or sometimes up to a week, depending if how prominent the moon is in your chart. And that being my rising side of Cancer, man, I feel these coming in.
Yeah. Well, I want to give a quick welcome to everybody who's joining us now on the live stream. If you guys have any questions, Bev the astrologer is here. We have Cory Mackinnon, Guiding Delight, also simul streaming with me at the same time. So if you guys have any questions, throw them in the comments, and let's interact a little bit towards the end. We got a few more things we want to take care of first, I believe. Bev, you're going to come on the show to do we're going to do another one on the astrology that you were talking about for the 23rd, right? Because that's a pretty big
definitely.
deal.
Yeah, for the equinox, because I pulled up the USA's natal chart and looked at that, man. And we had quite the conversation today, me and my sister. So yeah, there's a lot in that chart, but just looking at it right now too, we've got Neptune is also opposing Mercury, and Mercury is there in Virgo, and it's the things coming into our daily lives. Things are being brought up into our attention, and we can't ignore it anymore. It's in our daily lives. It's all around us, and you can't tune it out. And that's where I think Pluto coming in, trying to make things right there, saying, hey, okay, we can do this, but are we going to choose the higher road, or are we going to take the lower road? We know where that ends.
Yeah. Been there, done that, right? Get off the poop loop.
Exactly.
What do you guys think about the astrology? Usually you're either watching or you're, whatever. Now you're on the stream, you're simulcasting, we're coming together. How do you guys feel about some of the things going on with, all the alignments and the stuff coming up and the purges going on? Like, how are you handling this? We'd love to hear either one of you.
Yeah, go ahead, Cory.
All right. I'll have to say, first off, leading up into this live stream has been some of the most profound shifts I've had in quite some time. And a lot of that is the unification of this the unification of this channel, of this experience, right? So that's been a really big one. For myself, there has been a really big as this co-aligns with a lot of this, we know that this year the chapters have been like truth and the revelation, right? And that's been a lot of this, I see it happening with the news and the media, and even in my own family, the discussions of like what's truly going on and behind the scenes, the facades, right? And some might say the theory, right? The theory of this. All of this bringing in this great unification, which is really, really, really important. But for myself, it's bringing in a big closure to chapters of my life and big revealing of things that have been out of balance or off cycle for about 2 to 3 years. I'm talking about things that there was this random drop-off moment about, I think it was 2 days ago or a day ago, where I felt this reset, where I felt this unplug from timelines, right? To shift into, because once again, I'm seeing this as a quantum knowing of what my body, soul, higher self, other dimensional versions, multi-dimensional expression chose. And it was chose to step away from certain timelines, to freeze that or to deactivate that probability in my reality, to activate a new one. And that started to open up a lot of what this Mars Libra journey is, which is the what was coming through, as you stated, was the respect of the warrior, right? And a lot of this, for me, this respect of the warrior, bringing into balance. So for me, it's bringing a lot of softness right now. So when I see Libra coming in with this justice of the scales tipping in what favor, for me, Mars has been in my astrology, very harsh. I've had to do a lot of the big war with the masculine, big war male energy, the weird Martian stuff going on off planet. Excuse me for stating that. I mean, having come from Sedona, we saw some weird things that were occurring out there. And a lot of this bringing in a lot of peace and conclusion to the experience in activating where I was suppressed or repressed and what's coming online now in this higher activation of light from within the realms. And this for myself is bringing in a lot of peace, a lot of courage, a lot of that, the strength card coming in line, knowing who I am, this really big, like good, soft feeling. And even coming into this, there's something highlighting about Virgo right now. And I'm not sure what it is, but even as I was setting up my cards, as I was shuffling my cards, both of my tarot decks threw out the Hermit card. And the Hermit card is the wizard. It's number 9, but it is Virgo, right? So obviously it's interesting because during Leo season, for me, I'm a Leo. I'm a sun Leo. I'm a moon Capricorn. My Leo went through HE double hockey sticks. Like, that was like my real dark night of the soul. For some reason in Virgo season, I'm feeling more lion come out, but it's also this gathering. And so for me, I'm seeing in myself where I've been out of place in the reality and where I kind of like quote unquote fit in. And a lot of like even what tuned in today was there's a song, we were going to the grocery store, and is the pieces of me, and establishing for myself, it's been this big soul retrieval, which is let's get back what from as these things fall and as we see these things, let's get back what we need to get back, the pieces of self, which is a part of this revelation, the truth and the deconstruction of the old realities. Is it's like, okay, so this building just burned, but what's the nugget of gold from within it? And that's the retrieval of aspects or self-empowerment, and then also to making peace and forgiveness with what's going on. So even for myself, there's moments where I've been feeling left out in the cold, felt separated, but now I feel really unified and really comfortable in my own skin. And as a result, that's the warrior respect. I think there's something also unlocking just within this group and this collective of the respect of the work we got to do to like shave off the old threads of the reality and to awaken to the new one. And that even respect that this isn't about fight. This is about fairness and equality and unity. Yeah. And I feel like that's something that's very much so coming up in the collective consciousness as well that I've seen. So
when you say healer, when you say warrior, Cory, it's the warrior, and then it's the balance with the healers. That's the softness. And it's like the balance of everything. It's the duality. We could talk about bifurcation like all night for sure too, because that's what's happening.
Yeah, and that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Beth. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, and the black moon has been transiting Leo too. So you've been going through kind of a rebirth with that. And the black moon, is Black Moon Lilith. And she didn't get invited to the wedding, and she's the one that just made everybody pay. So, yeah. And another fact that's interesting, too, Eris, which is the counterpart of Mars, she's in Aries there, and she's getting ready to be big time aspect. And she has been, but we got some major aspects coming up, too. So everything that you're saying, just a little I know about your chart there. Yeah, Leo's gotten hit hard this last, I'd say, 6 to 8 months.
Yeah. And it's interesting because there's a lot of that's been cleaning up too with the Black Moon Lilith and what you're speaking of Eris as well. That has been a big kind of like a cleanup here, which is the shadow feminine going through its purge. Yes. And I pulled this the other night. I did a reading for this full moon in Pisces, and something for myself had this evolutionary state of this shadow feminine coming into peace or overcoming her burdens to stand in her self-empowerment and to stand in her love. And that was really, really important as a part of my journey, because once again, it's like this healed warrior aspect coming through a little bit with this, I don't want to say destroyer, but the deconstructor, the indigo, the one that's coming in now to kind of blast down the old realities. And it's coming from a place of not like viciousness, but it's coming from a place of softness. And as I'm seeing the Morgan off in my the Morgan came back the other day. I don't know if you know the Morgan, but she's a Celtic goddess. And she came back this morning, and I haven't seen her for about a year and a half. So there's these aspects or these archetypes that are showing up that are here to sweep through the fields and to dissolve a lot of the old structures, to awaken what these new ones on. But she's not coming from a violent rampage. She's actually coming from a space of awakening self-empowerment here. And the other thing too that I noticed in the realities right now is this was a part of, there was something in the astrology stated about this going forward, going backwards movement. And I've noticed this dissolution of linearity or the quantum, where I'm going back in some pathways, timelines, to jump forward in others. And that's a part of this recollection phase. It's like, there's moments where I get this blast from the past where I'm like, oh, this is where I was 2 years ago, to get this review, to get this culmination point or this completion, to bring to this now, and to see where the future upgrades come in. And I'm noticing some things falling off, people falling away, and others aligning. So once again, it's like, there's this kind of this, I don't want to say it, kind of like I don't like that word. There's a collective movement strategically around with the higher selves. And that's kind of this, once we allow that flow to occur and we don't fight it, I feel like we open up to the shift that we're here to actually unveil in this now moment.
Cory, they're called destiny points. Because you have the free will choice or whatever to a certain point. Timelines get the destiny points, and they're destiny points for major collectives, like not just all of humanity, but whatever galactic legion, or if you want to use it that term, many species. Think Star Wars is real, right? So think of all the different, think of all of that at a destiny point. It's affecting so many.
Yeah, very much so.
It's huge.
And I'm feeling that a lot myself, being a Leo myself, getting tested over the last, I don't know, handful of weeks, right? But the interesting part for me was that everything was really good around the 21st, and it was very harmonious. Like I was starting to feel back into that divine feminine aspect, but really just feeling that balance like, it almost makes you feel light on your feet, right? And then it came with this tremendous amount of frustration, and everything just seemed to be dumped upside down. So that might have had something to do with that black moon getting left out of the wedding.
I know I do in my chart. When you
Yes.
talk to Bev there, she'll tell you.
Yes,
I can't wait.
it's some interesting stuff, but yeah, that black moon will do it to you. It makes you look at those things again. And to me, it's interesting because all these feminine archetypes, and we're moving into that age of Aquarius, and I think these things all have to come into line. We have to find that balance, and whether it's through astrology or whatever way we find it, I think it's all the pieces of the puzzle coming together, and that's just what I see right now.
Yeah. So when we got over our test little live just a couple days ago, the amount of unity that came through me was something I hadn't quite felt until like 2019. And I was getting back into this essence of my true self that, I didn't want to walk away from, but it just kind of hid away from me. But in the same sense, I hid myself away from it. Right. But now I'm getting more back into it. And it's very interesting that Cory mentioned that he was seeing that one certain goddess and how the feminine energy was coming back out, because it's truly been coming back out of me. So when I get into my true essence, I put more femininity into me. And I've had this masculine battle going on for like 8 months about how I want to be portrayed as a character. I wanted everybody to like me, and come to a conclusion. It's like, no, they don't have to like you. They just got to respect you. So
Yeah.
taking care of all these masculine things now to let this feminine energy come through at no better time, right?
Derek, you know that part where you're saying you want everybody to like you? There's different archetypes of core wounds that, people share.
Yes.
When you come in alignment, a lot of times we're walking the same path for the same wound to heal, or whatever it is we're doing collectively. And in that one too, it's the same thing. It's like, you know what? A good mantra for that one that I found is, what people say about me behind my back is none of my business.
Yeah.
We care less about what people think when they project their story into you. It's not your true story.
Right.
So it's only really what you think of yourself. That's why everybody says, give yourself the love first, or drink from your own cup before you share from the saucer. It's that, it comes right back to that, is like, we all do that together. And then you receive that respect and the love and all of those things that you deserve. That starts coming in as your true abundance. And it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. It just keeps getting better and better. And maybe the finances are the last thing to come online for the abundance. But when you can recognize your energy as abundance,
Yeah.
it's like the energy is all everything.
It's like there's been a time shift and a lot of people have been talking about it, describing that there's been this big time shift, but really I think the shifting on a higher plane, and now it's rolling into the collective, and the collective's starting to feel that. It's kind of like that pre-COVID where, we have a little bit more of a unity within our balance, because it's not so obvious of the unbalanced, right? So coming back in all that essence, I think is really special for this time as well.
Well, too, Venus has been in retrograde going through Leo too. And you were talking about the 2019 time frame. That's when Venus was in retrograde before, Derek. So that makes sense why they took you back to that. And I have a Mars in Leo, so I've been feeling some of that myself. So you guys aren't alone. Not as bad as you guys, but
could you talk about Venus right now and like kind of what's going on with her?
Well, Venus is doing a retrograde in Leo, and she'll be out on September 3rd. So we don't have much further to go. But it's just basically going back to, you started in Aries and you work your way around till you get in Leo. But Leo is about the true self, the authentic self, what you really are when you bring the masculine and the feminine together. So Venus going retrograde in Leo, it's making us look at what is it that we've lost in ourselves? What is it that we need to tap back into? What are those good parts of ourselves? And we have to finish some of that healing to bring those forward. So I think we've been on this big healing journey for quite a while, but especially with Venus there in Leo, I think this last few months.
Bev, you were talking about Venus before when we were going into retrograde and everything. And, I liken it to if you're a Christian or raised that way, or you're familiar with the dark night of the soul, as far as Jesus being tempted for 40 days and 40 nights in the desert. I liken that to when Venus goes retrograde, that you almost have that, like, she's gone, she's not there, you're in an underworld. So you're kind of
she's hidden
going
behind. So
yeah,
it's the same thing.
And she's not the white feminine, like she's not the dark one, she's the white one. So, you're kind of looking at it like the Christ has gone into the underworld, and all these temptations, projections, all these things have come around with are you You sure? You want to, this is like your final test, So when Venus
yeah.
goes out on the 3rd, like we're to graduation, we're done. You're being
and Lilith working with her. Lilith has been there. The Black Moon Lilith has been in Leo too. So they've been working the both sides of the feminine, trying to balance it out.
And I've felt that, and I've been through it. And when you guys said Venus is in the underworld, like I was already seeing that a day before you guys even mentioned it. I'm like, oh, okay. I always came here saying I'm not going to let planets rule me, right? But the more I step back and I kind of step away from the ego a little bit, it's interesting how connected these planets are, especially not only to our bodies, emotion, physical, and energy, but also our emotions and our organs.
Yeah.
And just Derek, what did you say about August 21st? Didn't you say something about that? Because that's when Venus came out of the shadow and came back into the sun where you could see her again.
Yeah, it was a very uplifting day, and I think that stayed with me for about a day and a half, and then it was just like I fell off a cliff.
Sorry about that, but yeah.
Well, lucky,
at least she's out of the underworld.
I played Humpty Dumpty and put the pieces back together so many times.
Put it back together. Here you go. I'll put it back together for you. Whoops, sorry.
What was that?
No, I feel great now. And this is beautiful.
It's going forward, Derek. It's getting ready to get out of Leo and give you a little bit of a break there.
But when it does come out of Leo, what's going to happen? That's what I was kind of curious about. Once it comes out of retrograde, and then does it just go to Virgo?
Yeah, then she'll go on into Virgo.
So that'll be more balanced. Okay, sweet.
Yes, and Virgo is, you're talking to healer and service to others. So, think about what an intricate dance, these planets are making as they go around. And it's interesting because right now Mars, Mercury, Sun, and Venus are all on one side of the chart. All the outer planets are on the opposite side of the chart. So we're having a balancing act no matter which way you look at a chart.
Yeah. And I will say that through these initiations too, you were talking about the Christ underworld component, and I want to state that this has been very much so a restructuring of this lunar feminine line I've been seeing, and also the distortions related with dogma. And I saw that coming up through the past couple of days, right? And so we look at the general themes that happen in these Christ components, right? And that's been a big one that's been kind of coming through and saying, okay, where can we seal the field from these kinds of like intrusion? Like when we look at a sealing of the field, we look at where do we still have holes or gaps in our own reality where these things can kind of come in and play fuss, right? And so a lot of this organic sealing of these realities is not allowing, it's almost like where we fell through in history, we patched that up, and not in a sense of armor, but in a sense of fortification, an organic fortification, so we can walk through the reality feeling safe in things like our Christ light, or feeling safe in our feminine essence, right? And a lot of this too, very much so, there's been a very big, I've been noticing with this Venus retrograde, a lot of big relationship restructuring, the way I relate to myself and relate to others. And I find that this is probably the most beautiful Venus retrograde I've been through in a while, as is in regards to the things that are coming together and that are actually flourishing. And a big word that's been coming up has been bloom, right? Yeah. Which is that everything is expanding, everything is ever unfolding, just like a beautiful rose or a beautiful flower, right? Beautiful sunflower for all of us. And to remember that we're all blooming and blossoming no matter what's going on. And even these organic redirections that are occurring for people where you thought you're going to be doing one thing or in one place and now you're doing another, those natural migration points where we have to let go of linearity, let go of expectation, step into the quantum current and trust the wave of the divine carrying us home. Really important that all of this is assisting in the bloom.
That's it.
Definitely.
When you were talking about the organic sealing, Cory,
yeah.
I was getting all kinds of downloads just before that, and then better. No, but just before that, when you were saying it, all I could see was, here we go. We're sealing these grid points or these leaking points or whatever it is. You do these personally, and it's still happening with the timeline. But as we're vibrating faster and faster, we don't even need to seal because they keep reaching, but they're reaching for air because we turn invisible and we vibrate so fast. Air can't grab anymore. And when they can't grab anymore, it's because we've mastered our test to not accept projections. We're not accepting that because that is under our command, under our allowance.
Yes.
Or not. To be or not to be, that is the question.
Beautiful.
It brings a whole nother level to that one, doesn't it?
Sure does.
All right.
And those same little things that kind of I don't know. I've been facing this last final thing that really gets under my skin, and I said I know this is one of my last tests in the mastery or whatever this is, but it's been thrown at me many times. It's just like, you keep seeing these things coming up, so you can heal that last little part that you haven't quite let go of yet. I don't know if you guys have been experiencing that too, but that's been something coming up for me.
Yeah. What do you guys think? Do you want to ground all this and do some energetic work? You guys want to unify to do a little bit of galactic?
I'm always game for that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Because it's coming in strong. It's coming in really hard and fast. And I'm going to say, if your higher self, soul, galactic being, your team, if anybody wants to speak through you, just jump in. Okay. Open floor for anybody that wants to come in and unify, come in on the grid. I've been weaving already as we were talking, and I'm seeing this wide open space. And it's just like, it's like home. It's our direction home. It's our true north. It's where we're facing. Instead of facing forward, we're facing upward. And it's all encompassing. So they're showing me people, trying to get up to that, and they feel like they need a ladder, they need to jump, and they're having a hard time getting up into that vibration. It's just an analogy in the visual that I'm seeing, but I'm seeing like their higher selves trying to jump up and catch this. So like every time, think of when you're in the ocean, if you feel like you're that and you're down waiting for that higher vibration, how do I do this when fill in the blank? This is noisy, that's distracting, this needs my attention. How do I do that? It's becoming that whole self, that soul self, and it's walking spirit led in every moment. And it gets easier when you let spirit lead. Things do get easier because spirit helps you. You become partners with your soul to assist in your life. So as we're seeing these visuals of swimming in the ocean, and the wave comes, when a big wave comes, you ride the wave and then you climb up into the first rung of the spiral. And this is what's grounding and coming in right now. And they're showing me up in the galactic field how this whole vibration is just, it's already here. It's already here. And we've been able to catch that spiral. And if you haven't caught it yet for yourself, you will. It's flooding. It's flooding the planet. The water is rising. Just keep your head above the water and you'll be okay.
I'm getting, have you not forgotten what time it is, right? It's a harvesting. You've done all of this work to plant all of those seeds. Are you going to walk away at the greatest time? Truly eat the essence of the low-hanging fruits, and one day you shall pick the high fruit.
Every species matters. Every species matters. Their life matters. Their consciousness matters. A praying mantis drinking water from a human, serving them out of the lid from their water bottle, is a gift of love. It's unconditional love. If you want to make a video and be funny about it, it's one thing. But if you're doing it from your heart because the little critter needed to drink some water, then bless your soul. And you are blessing so many who get to see such a miracle as that. There's miracles in just the smallest things in life. And it's, what actions are you choosing? What is it that you are doing for yourself that you wouldn't mind if it was broadcasted all over the galaxy? Are you living your life in that way, such as walking in honor? And as you do that, everything becomes not a problem. Everything is not a problem. You are at peace in that one-ment with, as Cory was talking about earlier, just showing up and letting spirit lead, letting your soul come through and speak. It's here for everybody. So I'm seeing clearings going on, throat chakra, high heart, galactic center in the back, galactic cords being just polished up. They're showing me that cord's always been there, but we've forgotten about that connection. And some of us have tried to deliberately clamp it, but there's also mechanisms back there for siphoning and stealing some of that energy. But it's all being taken care of. You're being polished back up. You're being lifted up. Your spine is literally straightening out. Your 33 vertebrae in the back, they're showing me clicking into alignment. You're becoming lighter. As your body aligns, it's permeating every cell of your body, every organ, every chakra center spinning. Little specks falling out. You're bringing back and magnetizing all to you, which is yours. Everything from your life that is yours, energy wise, may now return to you at your command. So take a deep breath. Command that back in. All of the energy that no longer belongs to you. Take that, love that, thank it for what it taught you, and send it back to its owner. Knowingly, unknowingly, willingly, unwillingly, any energy you have that does not belong to you, send it back with your heart. Send it back in love. Send it back through the grids. Let it go where it wants to go and needs to go, because you, as a magnet, magnetricity, you're pulling back and calling back all of your energy to return to you, thanking it, blessing it as it returns home. Take a deep breath. On your out breath, send out your love and intentions through the grid. Let it permeate out from your field, your bubble, your egg, your shell, your division, the location of which you are divine sovereign. In that area, in that space, on your out breath, send out ripples from the liquid light that you are. So it is.
All right, I have a light language coming through.
Please.
I'd like to share with us. The words coming forward earlier were divine alignment, stepping into that trust, stepping into that faith. Right? For some, faith being a key code or a carrier of dissonance within some, the distortion field shifting within that, so we can establish what faith and trust within is within this self-empowerment, self-truth, trusting the ever unfolding path within all of us. Kadevar mushko varne severeti arrungu turrushkandavai. Denehe arrando surrunjun kuntututututundaki arrana satiene aki andava. Chenger musur nushkandavarianga tera chur veranastiki andosurramashkeva. Urumbukenda varni siria tiakanda varanda sasira rarukundutundundun derrasia kienda kiendi indian. All right, so Jupiter and Saturn shifting right now. Yasaganderano suurururungu tukutututu nahasiria kuturuku yawa. Rinjitia na achia rakaturuku oyama. Removing the restrictive patterns in our own ability to expand within our space. That feels like a lot of that low-hanging fruit energy, right? It's like where we set our own limitations in our own space, where we can't expand beyond certain variables, right? Na atia na asiara kururukutuku siandara. Rinje hetiendo urungu ka devara na shiatiana sakianda. So taking a moment to breathe this in. So that was a dragon that I was speaking through. So just taking a moment to breathe in, grounding in. Trusting your divine alignment, trusting your path, trusting your source, trusting your creator creation ability from within. Namaste, Iarakai. And breathing into the powers that are within you here and now. Allowing the powers that were to be what they were at that given moment. And gifting yourself an opportunity to engage with peace, with love, within the realms of light from within. And then the opening. The expansion. The dissolution. And then the breath. The I am sacred. I am divine. I am trusting my pathways. I am empowered. There we go. Thank you for that moment to speak that.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
My heart is fully on now.
Is it? Whoever's got crickets on, I love you. I love you. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
The back window's open.
I love it. Thank you.
The music.
I had to look around.
Nature's natural song, right? And I think that's such a big thing too, is because I know for myself, I've been shifting out a lot of I would say inorganic material out of my body the past couple of days. Yesterday I was throwing up all day, and it was big. Don't on me. I'm good. I'm happy. When I know I'm going through those big acid bile stomach flushes, I know I'm clearing some nasty stuff, and a lot of this in regards to what's going on in Hawaii. And a lot of the work of purifying the male and the things that have come in those addictive, a lot of this, same thing with the Black Moon Lilith lines with Eros. That's a lot of what's been shifting there. A lot of that. How are we empowering creative energy in our own relationships, where we're dropping off things like the promiscuity or the poly, if that's what some people want to shift out of, right? It's like, once again, we were talking about the tantalus energy, or the tantalizing, right? And can we get away from it, where we used to want to go after those things. And so for myself, those things have been big purifications. And so once again, it's like that natural song reverberating. That's been a big key thing here, is as we're going through these ascension symptoms, get outside, get in nature, get offline, right? And shout out to everyone that's doing the work with the telecommunications and what we're doing at a galactic level, where we're encoding the light in the quantum data, right? Because there is this quantum light understanding. And for some of us in our future realities, we're working on, some of us I see are working on the re-encodement of those realities, where those things aren't toxic. They're re-encoded in purpose with quantum light data. And then there's some of us that are like, no, let's get all this out of our bodies as well. That's a part of the bifurcation, but we don't need separation there. We can still unify, right? Because I too have the technical galactic avian aspect of me that's like, I get this. I get why we're using this stuff, right? But then we also have some of us that recognize too, when we've been doing things with 5G mind control, right? We want to get the metalloids out of our mind, out of our brain. We want to have that hemispheric balance. We want to have that sovereign soul and body, and being able to, once again, rise up and elevate. And so really important. And I kind of wanted to segue that, because once again, Gaia always has this natural song with the crickets, with the birds, with the trees. And even myself, I have to take moments to go, you know what? Let me shut off the phone, step offline. Don't be the social media woo-woo. Go outside and go sit and let Gaia take care of her. Let her song restructure your DNA. Right?
Yes, with nature, with the animal kingdom, with the elements, all of it outside. That's always the answer. Super consciousness. Just go take a bath in it. I can't wait to hear. I know, Derek, you went and talk about some telecommunications, things like that, because we've been waiting. We've been waiting for this, and it's almost like, come on, man, I can't wait to hear this. I can't wait to hear what you got to say. With Bevan or Astrology, and Cory, what he had to say, and just all of the sound, the sound healing. You guys, I'm so grateful that you're here.
That was great.
Tonight. Yeah.
Yes, that's powerful.
Yeah.
Yes, we're singing it across the ethers for sure. And we're uplifting some of the grids that obviously needed uplifting. But in your daily life, okay, Cory said something about the Hawaii thing. And as much as I try to put it out as something that maybe it was natural or something, just more evidence comes in that it's almost impossible, right? Simple chemistry and a couple other things. I'm sure I don't really want to go down that route. But what I'm trying to say is, yes, it happened, right? But what are you buying into and what are you feeding, right? If it upsets you, then what was caused, even though you don't want it to happen and you want to be disconnected from it, now your frustration and you're over and over again telling everybody, hey, this is a thing, and direct energy weapons and everything, we're screwed, and you're feeding it. You're pushing so much more energy into it, and it's like, you're not really accepting it, but by doing that, you're accepting it into your reality. So when we talk about telecommunications, is the way things react upon how we think, right? And if we think about something simple, like I want the light switch to be turned off, or I want something simple. And if we just think about it, eventually somebody will come along and do it for us. And how does that happen, right? So thoughts are put out into these node points, and there's multiple node points within your surrounding space, right? Because we're 99% empty space. You got all these different node points. Well, each node point is attached to all these different thought patterns, right? So one thought pattern could be attached to another thought pattern, which is connected to all of the thought patterns in a way, right? So the telecommunication is breaking down these thoughts, but it's also merging the thoughts similar to the timeline, similar to everything else. And as these lines of communication come to the merger, that's when we're getting the instant manifestation. That's when, as soon as we think it, it's happening, right? And that's why it's almost scary in a way, because if you think too much, you can alter something in your physical reality real quick. So it's really important to stay in the now presence when that's happening. So I kind of went on a tangent there, but
well, wait, Derek, before you go into the next part, that is like when you said it's scary, it's like when you start to realize you have that power, or you do something like that, you kind of back off, because that is the sign of knowing you've already learned your lesson, because you're showing respect for that power.
Yes.
So hopefully you'll all have, you guys have already had those moments. Hopefully you've all had those moments too, but yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. And with the quantum itself, right? So it's a quantum space. You can create things in your space to protect you, but not only to protect you, but to hold your thoughts and your energies from breaking outside of your vessel and creating, right? So you got the egg shell in a way, right? You want to break the egg open so you can let the Conducius, the angel, come out, right? But in the same sense, you want to relearn how to put the onion together, right? So it's going through all those layers, but learning how to keep everything in the layers, right? All your bodies, right? Keeping your mental body strong, keeping your physical body healthy, keeping your emotional body strong, your energy body, right? Knowing where your energy is going, right? I'm not giving my energy to something they did that I didn't want. Yes, it happened, but I'm going to move on, and I'm going to keep putting my energy into creation and thinking about the beauty that I can create around me, right? What can I control? Because no matter how much I go down these rabbit holes of conspiracy and put all this energy out there, I still can't really control any of that, can I? But I can control how I react to it. And if I don't react to it and I don't let it become part of my reality can be more creative. So it's this telecommunication and this telewiring that it's really prominent for me. And it's something that I've been putting together for a while. Like, I've understood thoughts control your reality for 4 or 5 years now, but in the same sense, the depth to it, right?
Yes.
And when you start healing your mental, and your mental can go talk to your emotion without getting an emotional response, now you can be in your light body, because your light body can have the emotion and the mental going through it, but there's no response to the physical body. But in vice versa, when you get into your light body or your astral body, you can have all those senses and feel the energy so that you can read it and displace energy if you have to. But circling all the way back to the telecommunication, it's going to be so evident. And I mean, I really mean this now, and how you react to it. Okay. I had a thought in my head. I pick up my phone. The first thing on my phone is the thought in my head. Okay. Are you excited about that, or does that spooky to you? Because if it gets spooky to you, you're going to push yourself away. But if you embrace it and you're excited, right? Now, a lot of people are like, oh, well, they're watching me. And if you really, truly understood the energy and the thought patterns and how everything's structured, you literally can't hide from anything. They're watching you on multiple different ways. But in the same sense, who cares, right? So if we take that understanding through that quantumness, and we allow the quantum entanglement between our devices, our phone, our computers, our Alexa, if we got one of those, right? By the way, tangent note, ask Alexa about quantum energy. She'll go into AI mode. It's absolutely mind-boggling. You probably learn something too. Not all of it's true, but in the same sense, it's very mind-opening.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
as everything comes around, what I see is happening is we had this ether, and then we had the crystalline structure, and they were very much so far apart. But as they started merging together, what's happening is this 5D crystalline structure that the blue crystal diamond code has brought down on us through, the integration of revelation and some of us blue crystals, right? The blue crystal in me, but we're bringing this down into that ether, and we're coalescing right now. And when we have blue diamond code, and then we have blue diamond code inside of our DNA, when we get into an ether band, we are now influencing the ether through our diamond code. And what are we doing? We're slowly going to dissolve the ether, and we're going to have a new ether, and it's not going to be trickster, weird stuff. It's going to be, no, you want to get to this level. Cells are going to merge. You're going to be in that merger. You're no longer going to be affected by the old ether. Even though it's still going to be there, it's slowly going to dissolve out and just turn into that blue diamond crystalline structure. But we're finally seeing the waves come together, right? And I just want to point that out. It's so key, especially for this blue moon. I mean, you think about it, blue blue light codes, blue diamonds, just everything blues lining up.
Yeah.
Plus you got the fire of the Leo. You got the Leo is in Venus. Venus is the blue diamond in itself. And it's all of those things when they merge, that's when the telecommunication and tele instincts start taking place. And if you allow and you don't get into this fear mantra of it, because what happens if you start picking up this energy and then it kind of scares you, or you've seen something in your third eye that's not really what you wanted to see, right? You're putting a thought and energy that pushes you away. Yes. So what I'm really saying is watch your thoughts, watch your emotions, and get into that stream of that crystalline structure and really understand how the telecommunication, not only just with everything around you in your environment, right? I mean, yeah, I talked about the computers and stuff because that's what's evident and happening right now. But, you know, think about the blades of grass, right? The clouds, the fire, if you go out and have a fire, all the animals that like Linda was talking about earlier, you know, if you're going to give that graciousness out of an animal because you can feel that it needs it, you know, how many blessings that puts upon all of us.
Oh, it's so true.
Nice. And D, can I wrap with you a little bit on this?
Let's do it.
All right. So because I noticed this the other day after we talked, I had these telecommunication links open up, and they're very much so Tesla code, right? So it's like that natural. The thing that was coming through was this Tesla code, which is the arrangement of who we are and like who we are as crystals, right? So we are all crystals, which means we are all programmable by design. Right. Mm-hmm. Which means that we also are, you know, we look at diodes, transducers, right? The energy we bring in, what we reverberate, all of this levels of consciousness that reverberate to the DNA. So a lot of this, yeah. What's that?
Cave of creation where those crystals all lie, right?
Yep. And so the original crystals, so for me, I've gone through multiple crystal upgrades that have been a part of the hybridization, and then, you know, the layers of the hybridization trauma that I've had to go through, which is how we get further and further away from who we are as our organic light. There was an original creator aspect of my crystals that came back online, and the biggest thing was in this natural alignment is what am I allowing into the field as streams of light in regards to polarity, right? And then also too is what am I allowing to naturally organically hook in the mental fields, right? Which are fear thought structures, the low-hanging fruit, right? And the low-hanging fruit, like I know for myself, a part of this Persephone connection was the more that I ate the shadow, the more I understood. The more I understood, the more I woke up. And the more I woke up, the brighter my light got. And I started to drop density within form. But there was also this reestablishment of this divine crystal codex from within self, which is who I am as organic creator, as a crystal, and what am I allowing in, and the balancing of the streams of light within this consciousness as well. Because I've been seeing rubes more and more where some people will cap at a certain degree. Oh, I don't want to see at 6th dimension, or I don't want to be at 7th dimension, or I don't want to be at 9th dimension. And for myself, I'm like, how do I establish this stream back to original creator of me on all those levels, right? And I've seen this upgrade occur where some people are reaching into 15, some people are going in, if you believe that 15 exists, right? Because once again, all of this is belief system where we're at in dimensions, and all of this is measurable, right? Because we as humans measure. But some people expanding to 50. Yeah, go ahead, Linda.
And perception too. Yeah,
perception,
yes.
Big time.
Yes.
And so it's like some people expanding into 15, some people going into 11. I know for myself, I had a big jump up into 8 in the body. And then it was like, now I'm trying to reach this 9 realm and bringing the 9 in. And you're right about the trickster, right? Which is a lot of this is the roofing or components of where we don't want to see. Or the trickster can also be, once again, it's the same thing as the stage magician, right? Are you looking at this hand or are you looking at this hand? Right. And a lot of that, once again, is giving into the illusion, the lies that we built within self and where we play in our own deceptive properties of self. But the biggest thing, too, about this as we're working through this is how we work with clearing interference through the mental fields. Right. So for myself, I had this big upgrade and I felt my colostrum come back online and seal, which the colostrum, by the way, is a part of this original milk that comes from the child. Right. And a lot of people right now are like reestablishing the energetic connection to the placenta. Some people are getting back, parts of their bodies that they lost through childhood. So some people will go back to the cosmic womb of creation and start to heal this. The biggest thing that was coming back was this colostrum, which is the milk of the child. And there was something within this original seed of the mind that has the properties of being able to heal, and something that we've also separated from. Now, more to be revealed on what the colostrum is, but a lot of this has been basically this big expansion of the gray matter within the brain, which means that the mystery is being revealed within the thought form mental universe. But the biggest thing I want to talk about for all of us who need tools handy when we're working with the mental fields is work with a lot of selenite And for myself, shungite helped. So I went through a moment where I was getting a lot of chatter, and basically just like a radio broadcast is, what am I allowing to dial into these crystals? So for me, knowing that I have a crystal in my throat chakra to command through the fields, right? So I'm going to balance my stream of light, or I'm going to clear the interference record off the mental fields, is really important, because I also recognize I didn't need to take in all the chatter of everyone, because that creates a hive mind production as well, right? So when I look at this, I look at where's independent autonomous thought within the field, and where am I aligning with a field that's, because one level is unity, one level is this collective mind or collective ego that we play in. So how do we get back to God consciousness, source consciousness, super consciousness, creator thought, which is something that I saw one other person discuss, which is a part of this heart-mind intuitive balancing that Bev was speaking on in the beginning as well, is where do we balance the heart and the mind within this and that reconnective space. But I wanted to align that because there's people that are coming online that I've noticed that have more of a behavioral health concern with this, where we start to see people spin out. They're starting to thinking they're schizophrenic and things like this. And this is what I want to state is for those people out there. Yeah. I hold a lot of compassion in my heart for you, because I've had moments where I was told I was crazy. I was all these things. And I knew that I was basically a gigantic crystalline dial who was able to hear, sense, see, feel so many different variable wavelengths of dimensions. Right. And so this is where we need to propagate the tools of working with energy bodies to work. And so I have my shungite on as a bracelet. Shungite helped me a lot. Selenite, and also guys, just as simple, grab some sage or Palo Santo, take it to the third eye and the men and the mind. And also too is work with cleansing the gut. That's why apple cider vinegar and turmeric water has been really important for me lately, because once again, the alkalinity in the gut, that gut flora, all that stuff establishes back with the mind as well. And so something I wanted to state, and then I will get off my pedestal.
No, that's great. And they're all tips that people need. I mean, that's really important information too. And along with, stop using fluoride. If you want to open up to on your soul level, stop using fluoride. It calcifies your pineal gland. That's its really sole purpose. So if you want to get into research and all that, that's great. If you don't, you just want little tips and you want bullet points, stop taking fluoride. I wanted to also
go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Dee. I was just going to say real quick, Cory, or you started, Dee, with the dimensions, and then Cory, when you were talking about it, and dimensions when it comes to perception, I would just wanted to say how mine came online, and when I started recognizing which dimensions what, you're learning at the same time how to read the light, how to read the codes that are coming in, how to interpret it, and everybody can do it. It's not like, oh, they can do it because they're open, or they've been on the path longer, or they have that, no. Everybody is made and designed to do that. Everybody has the magnetricity, you have the electricity, you have the chakra centers. You have that ability within yourself too. And recognizing when certain things come in is just like Dee was talking with the neural pathways, and how when you're training yourself to do something, repetitive action, practice makes it stronger, makes it more muscle memory, right? If you're working out, muscle memory. So it's the same thing for interpreting light. And if you make a connection with a part of you, no, they don't have to think the way you want them to think just because they're a part of you, an aspect of you in a different dimension. They're their own beings. So no, you don't want to control, but you all want to be on the same bus going in the same direction. Because, you all want to get to Wonderland or whatever, somewhere over the rainbow, the magic school bus, you all want to go on that trip. So when you're getting to know those aspects of yourselves and you're saying, well, yeah, no, you're not going crazy. You're not schizophrenic. They're not like outside voices that you're hearing in different tones. It's your own thought communication, the telecommunications Derek was talking about. You're learning how to interpret the light with a different energy frequency signature, that the harmonics are slightly different, or the codes are a little, and you get to recognize it by repeated happenings. So when my dimensional selves would come in, or if I'd have a communication, a download, an inspiration, the angel and the devil on the shoulders, if I had one of those things going on, I would ask and stop and ask, like, who is this, or what's going on? I have communication. You get to know, you get to have a friendship, and then as Andrew Weston used to always say too, like you have a friendship first, then you have a relationship. So if a being from the ninth dimensional angelical realms coming in, and they're, coming in to work with me in a certain spot every day because I meditate in that spot or something like that, you get to know from what corner, from what angle they're coming in. You get to know, like a neural pathway, muscle memory, you get that frequency. And then if they hit you up somewhere else, you're like, oh yeah, I recognize that. I know exactly who you are because you have a flashback of that muscle memory. So it gets easier to identify different dimensional aspects of yourself because you practice and you do it over and over and over. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Dee. Sorry.
No, you're good. I was actually going to break down the dimensional thing, so you did it well.
Oh no, go ahead. We would please. We'd
No,
love
that's
your
exactly.
perspective.
I was going to say pretty much something along that line. It was like, but Corey
Sorry,
said
I
something
didn't know.
about 15th dimension and stuff. Like, yeah, there is a multiple dimensions, but I think you really we're starting out. You don't want to focus anymore past the 12 because we're here in this Milky Way galaxy, and it's a container for 12 dimensions. And then within those 12 dimensions, you have all your different aspects. So, that was a big aha moment when me and Bev came together with Linda last time. Was we were saying, well, there's 12 dimensions. And then Bev's like, well, you got the duality. So there's really 24. And then I said, well, you got all the aspects in there. So that's actually 12 in each. So that's where you get the 144. And it's like, how do you become the 144, right? There's all these videos out there, and it's really deal with the 144 aspects of yourself and get them all to be in the center at one time. And you will become a 144.
There you go.
You are the 144.
You said
Anybody
it well,
has a
Derek.
chance. We're not saying it's going to be easy.
No, not
It
at all.
never is.
I will never lie about that.
I'll never forget too when I started putting a love out there into some of these things that were, I was fighting them, right? And I finally came to the realization that fighting them wasn't doing anything. That they were actually wanting that response, right? And I think a lot of us that come on this journey go through that aha moment. But when I started putting the light back to them and loving them, man, it was almost too much, and they ran away from me. So now I got some that are ran away and like they're hiding, and I got to go find them. So it's all good. In time, they will come, right? And all in divine timing. You realize you are where you need to be in time and space. So don't put the pressure on yourself either.
Yeah.
Who was talking earlier about the timelines going backward? Cory, you were going backwards, going forward. Have you written yourself a note yet and forgot about it? And then you open it up in your notebook and you're going, what the what? I wrote that. I did.
That happened to me about, I'd say it was a week or two ago. I was going through notebooks because I was going through this abundance stuff where even myself, I'm like, what is going on with this abundance thing? And Linda, I know we carry the same frequency heart in regards to the financial restructuring, the economy, things like this. And then the whole RV thing going on, which is the revaluing. And I noticed at a soul level, there was about finding worth and value within what I have, which is not about the monetary, but like literally being able to receive support, being able to receive help, right? Getting off of my old Templar throne, right? Which was a big one, which was like, hey, I got to drop the Templars, right? I got to drop like this, like really, it was a lot of past life stuff for me. But I found within my book was this energy about the organic wealth and worth that Gaia provides. And this was something that was initiated for me back when I was in Arizona living the RV life, was that it started out with neighbors just giving me eggs. So where I didn't have money, someone would come offer me food, which helped with the unity consciousness, because now I had to let people help me. I had to let people in. And when I'm like, oh, I want it all online. Okay, I go live. Why aren't I getting my donations? And, all these things. Well, then all of a sudden, right, there's something happens where I get food from someone or whatever. And once again, it's this natural, organic Gaia nurture nature. That's an organic nurture in nature, right? Which is not just words and thought and beliefs. It's actually the alignment of feeling that the people genuinely care and people want for you, right? And it's really interesting because now we're also getting into this instant manifestation light that Dee was talking about. And the thing is that for myself, as I was going through my own wizard magician aspect, clearing out the entitlement energy was a big one that was coming up with this energy. And I know I'm kind of going off on a little ramble here, but going out, the entitlement energy was a big one where I had to drop the entitlement, right? And that's something I'm still working through. But I was shown this the icosahedron of the brain, which is a 9th dimensional mind. I was shown 9-dimensional mind, and basically our energies in etheric multidimensional sphere being able to see up, down, right? And then our heads being able to see up at an angle and down at an angle, understanding how we see as an archangel, which is the arc and the angle, which is a part of the arc and the angle, all is Metatron's cube. So this sacred geometry of mind that was coming through, and they're like, if you want to understand a 9th dimensional mind, which is a lot of this instant manifestation, it was sit here and being able to see up and down at the same time, side to side at the same time, and then allowing your etheric heads to kind of go up and look up at an angle and down at an angle. And it built this little icosahedron over my head, which looks like this, right? And this is the platonic solid of water. right, of water is what this is. And so it was really, really interesting that there was this 9D mind that was shown to me about the instant manifestation and how these things come in. And once again, we might call it synchronicity, right? Like a lot of us know about, oh, we see 11:11 on the clock. How beautiful. That's where we start to awaken to the mathematic universe and the structure of the universe, that we're in a divine rhythm. We're in a divine flow. And yet some of these things at times can feel creepy, especially when we're looking at agendas and motives. And Dee, thank you for bringing up the cell phone thing, right? Because I've been through this too, where we're having a conversation, right? And Alexa pops off going, hi, Berkeley Institute of Study is recording. You know, we're hearing that they're sending information over to San Francisco, right? And I'm like, oh, this isn't creepy. And, you know, those moments of like, talking shit to Alexa, excuse my language, but we talk shit to Alexa sometimes.
We do too. It's the relationship. We need to learn how to be respectful of the technology.
No,
right?
100%.
We don't need to snap on it and be like, damn it, blah, 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 blah. We
not at all.
Relationship of love with these technologies.
Relationship with Alexa, it's hysterical because sometimes we just ask her to make certain noises, or we just have fun with her, or tell us a joke, you know, or we'll ask her like, you know, what's this? What's that? I don't remember. You know, Mom and I will be sitting here and I'll say something and I'll be like, Alexa, what's that? You know, and she'll answer and I'll be like, thank you. You know, so like we just pretend like she's just an assistant here because they're gonna listen and record, like you said. We're broadcasting anyway, so who cares?
Yeah.
She's funny. She's pretty funny.
It is. And you know, I feel like the lightness of a feather, and also too, what's really cool is the free will choice point in direction. Right? Like I said, some people are choosing like, hey, let's recode this and work with this with quantum light data. Let's work with that. And some of us have gone through such deep subjugation that we're like, no, I'm sorry. I'm not going to have a serial number tattooed to my spine. I'm sorry, but Google ain't going to run my life. Right? Like I know I am one within the all, but I have a choice point on the narrative to end transhumanism, which also ties into transgenderism, which ties into a lot of stuff we see where people are actually totally throwing off their body, which is a part of genetic modification that we see. Oh my God. And it's a passion of mine to get into the health in the body, because once again, for me, especially when I look at my Mayan code is blue solar storm, right? Which is for me the purification of the body. So for me, that's important, right? And that doesn't mean that one is doing anything wrong or right. This is what's really beautiful about free will, but also too, at a galactic oversoul level, the galactics need to learn to get along with this as well. Right, which means our Pleiadians going, hey, I understand what you're doing with quantum light technology. Please keep it going. Because here's the thing. The thing is that when we work at repurposing, we look at polarity of creation, we've all created because of evolution. Now, if I attach a distorted polarity or a dark or a light or a negative or a positive to it, I'm playing in the dual. So a part of this oneness of creation is saying at a galactic oversoul level, I see you, I honor you, I love you, I bless you, so mote it be, and we unify and we work together to build out new beautiful realities together. But for some of us who have come through the roads of the composite matrix of the body, you know, being so heavy metalloid, fats and lipids in the body based upon junk food and mental health stuff and you know, sodas and smoking methamphetamine for so long, right? Which is a part of my detoxification. Those were nodal points of subjugation where something could come in and to start to mess around. And that's why fortification of the body has been important. But once again, you know, even understanding, right, that at a galactic level, we can have these open discussions and not debate about it, but rather see the truth within the all and honor the free will. Because here's the thing, we're all moving towards a greater reality with more unification, more love, and more hope if we choose that. So mote it be. Right.
So mote it be. Right.
Nice.
Well said.
Yes.
Boom. Crickets.
Bev, I have one question for you. Oh,
Just
yeah,
kidding.
sorry. I can't turn them off. But,
No, I love the crickets. Don't apologize.
You can't turn them off, Derek. What's wrong with you?
They're beautiful. I was actually making a
Well, it might
joke
be
like,
able to.
okay, now nobody's talking, so it's crickets. No, I like to open my window so I can hear them. I have them here too. I love the crickets. Keep them on.
I was just being silly. I never even use that word that starts with an S because, you know, you're just calling yourself worthless. So if you're using that in your vocabulary, go ahead and take that out. But
What
Bev,
word?
I was kind of curious to see, what is Earth doing right now? Like, maybe so when we work with Gaia, we can kind of understand where she's sitting and what kind of energies to give her.
You know, honestly, I don't run a chart with the Earth and where it's at on here, so that's something I could look into, because honestly, I don't know where it's at with this full moon. I'm still working with my technology, and it doesn't run it on my report, so I'm not sure right now. But as far as talking about, they also call Gaia the galactic center too. Is that part of what you're talking about, or are you actually talking about the Earth symbol on the astrology chart?
Yeah, I was kind of curious where the Earth was in the astrology chart. So maybe that'd be something you could put in your toolbox. Yeah, that's
something
cool.
to include in that.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
because
just something that came up, like Spirit was wanting to know. So let's
yeah,
do that.
I wish I could tell you.
Yeah, well, you will be able to next time when you guys come back on for the equinox, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'll
Absolutely.
put that on my chart and take a look at it. Because yeah, other people talk about it. I just had never run it on my charts. You know how you get used to doing things a certain way.
Yeah, well,
I'm still learning.
Right. I just know over my ascension journey, like there's been times where she's been needing a lot of energy and a lot of clearing, and there's times where she just kind of wants to be left alone and kind of work her through it on her own.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just wondering because I've kind of felt like she's been on her own lately, and I was wondering, maybe is the equinox or sometime in there where she's going to want more of that harmonic unity.
I'm anxious to look at that where the Earth is because, like I said, I had looked at the USA's birth chart and I see so many things coming through, and I think that's a part of it too. So to actually put that on the chart too and take a look into it, that's definitely going to be a good topic to get into.
Awesome.
I was just tapping in when you asked that too, and it's like you can kind of see, as things vibrate more, they get more invisible, right? And you can kind of see Earth already stretching into that, and we're along for the ride. But she's a big body moving into that higher dimensional, so reaching forward in many dimensions, she's giving us the capability to ride the spiral with her. And we're just getting started on the bottom of the spiral, but she's already spiraled up. It's like she's already there. She already has that is what I was feeling, seeing, getting when you two were just saying that. Yeah, we get to ride her spiral. It's like her wake. Yes. Even though we're with her, it's all at the same time. It's already happening right here, right now. But do we see it? Well, when we vibrate fast enough and we keep shedding all those veils and all the density and purge and all, as the lighter that we get, the more we can see and experience that. I think. I don't know. I just.
What are you talking about?
Oh, you know. Well, guys.
Should I do these?
Yeah, what's that? Is that the meditation?
Cards.
Oh yes, please. Oh, yeah. Please.
I was planning on doing a meditation, but I think you already did a fabulous job. I mean, everything that I wanted to anchor, like you say, I call it grounding, but
did I do that? We didn't plan that. Honestly, I wasn't stealing your thunder. Sorry, man.
No, not at all. That's what I want to do is really just give the people in the room and everybody in the chat, hey, what's up? I'm glad you guys have been hanging out with us, but obviously just gives us a chance to all quantumly combine in a way, but then also anchor energy into a container, if you will, that it's a cookie jar we're all eating out of, right? And it's something that we all put energy into. And that's kind of what I wanted to transpire, my gift for the night. So we've already done that, and that's beautiful. But as promised, I did pull a couple cards. Like I said, I told you they were going to be different. So this is for the full moon tomorrow and then 7 days after. So we got 24, and it's untapped inner power. So we're stepping into the untapped inner power. So lots of blue and purple in there as well. And you are getting ready to experience great power from within yourself. So having that understanding, we've got a lot of great untapped inner power coming out of us. Even some of us who've been doing this for a while, right? There's always something, right? And I think, you can never get complacent, but in the same sense, now's a good time to go for some more of that inner power because there's less strings attached, if you will. And you've probably done a lot of all the work of yourself. And then the second card is Divine Channel. So you got the stars and the blue sky again. And you are the divine channel. You work with your angels and guides to deliver messages that assist others and on their spiritual path as well as your spiritual path. So you're coming into that untapped energy. Allow that divine channel to show you the untapped channels so that you can have the inspired action. So focus on the inspiration, and the action steps will follow effortlessly. So if we can tap into our inner power that we might not tapped into, or we're going to tap a little bit deeper into that, we're going to become that divine channel that's going to carry our inspired actions out. And the best part about it on the back, and I thought of you, Jim and Eve, when I seen this one, it's soar. Roar, baby.
Roar and soar.
Wow.
You're getting ready to fly high above all the obstacles and embrace life in the most magical way. And then bam, he's out.
He went rainbow. He just went rainbow. He went rainbow body in front of us, family.
Yes.
He has ascended.
Oh man, too good.
Telecommunications. They just had to, make you laugh there.
Oh.
And it's a good thing that flashing lights don't give me seizures, because Linda, you and Derek have been flashing on my screen the whole time we've been talking. I've had to look away. You've seen me take my glasses. My eyes are going crazy. And
Really?
then, yeah, and it's a pattern like what Derek's is showing now, but it's flashing on and off constantly. It's
Oh
been
my
over you and
God.
him on my
That's-
end. It's crazy. It hurt my eyes. It did. I was wiping them. They were tearing.
Oh, sorry.
That's
I'm carrying so much energy. Like right now, it's just,
Mhm.
it's flowing. I'm not carrying it. It's flowing. Because it's like, we all know, just like, if you're doing something wrong or something right or something good or something
Yes.
bad, however you label it, you know, and you
Mhm.
just know when there's a flow, and it's like this energy is flowing tremendously. Like the water's good. Come on in, come and enjoy.
Come on in for sure.
Yes.
If you're not
Yes.
wet yet, you're gonna be. You're gonna jump in. You're gonna want to play. It's just those moments of peace, like when you're creating things or in your joy, your passion. Most people know what they'd like to do if they don't already know what their habit or their hobby, hobby, whatever it is that brings you joy. When you're doing that, you know what you love to create. You know what you love to do or play in, or what you would like to do or play in. So taking a step towards that, or just doing something for yourself that brings you joy, that's where it's going to bring you in that peace. That's where you experience no time. And that's where you get closer to aligning everything, bringing it into center, bringing it into you, into your tube, and into center in your heart, right in your heart center. And then that gives you the ability to be able to send it out when something does poke at you, because a lot of us have been getting poked at in this 40 days, 40 nights,
Yes.
valley of the death, whatever we're walking through. We've been getting poked and we're kind of like, boom, let's try this. Love bomb, but not in a bad way, just in a happy love way. When you sincerely just pray for somebody. If you don't know how to pray, just talk to your soul, on the inside. Meditating is listening, praying is speaking. So talk to your soul, form that, reach out and make that friendship so you can have the partnership. Friendship so you can have a relationship, and then eventually you'll have a partnership. And that's where you want to be. And Andrew taught us that, and I say it all the time now when I'm talking about it. You want that partnership with your soul. It's walking spirit led. So that's my 2 cents for tonight. You guys got any closing things you guys want to talk about? Any inspiration, any tips or notes that you didn't cover yet? More cards, anything?
I just got one card. I pulled one card from Star Dragons, and it was resources, right? And there was this so on this, I don't know how well we can see it, but there's a little connection point right here. This reconnection point, right? And so resources to me is remembering the source within all things, right? Which means remember the light within all things. When we view, witness things, stand from the observant perspective in your journey, especially in your reality, right? When it comes to the quantifiable data, the things that you witness, see it as the source within all things. See the light, see the love, see within it. And that's going to help with perspective. But also, too, it's got this space of reconnection that's coming in, right? Which we were talking about, that self-empowerment that Dee was bringing in with the cards. This is once again, rising up into this accessing our true north, accessing that internal. There's a spot of reconnection that I'm noticing, too, through this gateway with the Pisces full moon, that's bringing in this link or language of inner standing within the soul's worth, within the soul's journey, and within the multidimensional perspective. So it's something that I pulled the other day that was coming out on my channel, which was this reconnection back to this multidimensional self and this awareness of something within that's this aha moment. And I feel like, once again, whatever's occurring with this reconnection period, like Dee was talking about, to the mental body and to these etheric crystalline connections, there is this DNA or this language or this interpretation or something within all of us where you can feel that there's something where it's almost like the weight off the shoulders can relax and we can kind of flow into what this new experience is. And I really love how, once again, the full moon's bringing in this there's this really big jump into the intuition to play within the voice of truth from within. But I wanted to point this out, that this resources is also, too, it's working with what we have from within to keep building this better future, which means the knowledge, the knowing, the truth, the care, the clarity, and as well as the light. So you can really feel expansive in the miracle that's building out for all of us as a collective. Because once again, there's these little tidbits of information that help us to awaken to that magic in our reality again. Right. And I feel like, once again, finding the magic within the mundane is really, really, really important. And then the biggest thing, too, is like, if you're starting to play for anybody in lack mentality, work with what you've got to build and to create and to play and to share. Right. And so if you feel like you don't have enough or you're not going to be able to, or those kinds of mindsets start to come in, start playing and working with what you've got accessible to you. Because like, to me, I'm seeing like the garden that, like, so for us, right, even though we might not have the money, we have the garden, the vegetables growing. Right. So it's like, we've got look at the things we do have. Right. And being resourceful with our energy, with our time. Don't give, like, shout out to Dee for bringing this up too, is don't give energy to those naysayers, to that negative thinking, to the thought forms or the pattern or the cycle of creation that we don't want to play in. Start investing the light and the energy into the things that we do want to see for the reality, right? And once again, opinions and perspectives are really important when we're going into embodying truth. I want to state that self-empowerment and standing in your truth is important. And please, everyone, to work with the people-pleasing energy. Right, because the thing about Libra too is Libra is such a giver and a caregiver, but Libra can be a people pleaser in the distortion. And so this embodiment of truth too is where can we stay away from coercion, influence of others, to really stand and embody our truth, and to feel safe in your truth, feel safe in your truth or safe in your throne, to where you know that no one's going to come in and colonize you, no one's going to break you down, no one's going to tear you away, because those are things that are part of the old reality and the old universes, that you can stand as the immovable, unshakable object of love, and you are held and loved and supported within the realms of the divine, and that no one's going to take you off of your throne or take you away from your kingdom or take you away from your joy or your queendom, right? Or is going to take you away from your light, because once again, those realms of separation are no longer available here. What's available to us is the highest form of light within all of us, and I decree this to all of us within the all, right? So just wanted to share that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you. Beautiful.
You can't see me now on the video because my camera overheated and died.
Oh,
but it's getting hot back here. I guess all the fire's coming out of me.
Camera? A $3,000 camera, D?
Yeah, it still needs a little stuff, a little power adapter, I guess. But a person who is a person said, "Damn, D, leave us the frequency. Next time we'll come with you." I thought that was pretty funny. So when you're absorbing and learning your frequencies, it starts with colors, right? And then you learn how to combine colors, and eventually you can get 3 colors on your stream. So every time you pulsate energy out, it's 3 different colors. Once you can get fluid in 3 different colors and understand all the mixtures of those 3 colors, then you get the plasma container. So the plasma is all of the light together, right? So you have the plasma container, and then you can 3 codecs in there, and that is what we call quad location. But yeah, my last little takeaway is Cory brought it up. It's like, don't forget how powerful the crystals are, especially if you're new to your journey. The crystals played a powerful role in mine. Like I never forget my first piece of moldavite, right? And the necklace that I wear around my neck. I couldn't even hold it. It vibrated so much it would make me dizzy, right? And now I wear the thing every day on my path. So definitely realize how crystals can help you achieve those higher frequencies, right?
Yeah, moldavite. Oh my God. Maybe that's why people come in my room here and they're just like, "Oh my God, it feels so good." I get crystals everywhere because I make the jewelry. So yeah.
I remember my first moldavite.
I was gonna say organite too. If you guys can invest in some organite, like go over to teamlightstore.com, go check out the organite over there. Organite's been a big one, and yeah, crystals, guys, and take care of them too. Right, take care of them. I think this is the first full moon. We got moldavite right here. This is the first full moon that I'm going to be actually taking my crystals outside, and that's really cool. Is that there's this knowing now. There you go. That I feel like we can now start to trust the moon language and what's coming through with the charging of the crystals as well. So really beautiful to tap into that. And if you guys are a little bit witchy, moon water, full moon water for the Pisces moon is really good. And also to charging oils. So if any of you out there make oils, take it out under the Pisces full moon, make those oils and something to put on your third eye, especially if you're opening up and expanding. Yeah, something I wanted to recommend. And that's all.
Oh, and please, guys,
Thanks.
you have like stores and websites and different things. Just give everybody, take your turn, giving a shout out about your website, your store, a link, offering services, all that kind of thing.
Go ahead, Bev. You start, and then I'll go, and then Cory can finish.
I just have mysoulsongs.com. That's my website. I do readings on there and offering different things. So just shoot me an email, or it's also mysoulsongs.com and at Gmail.
Awesome.
Nice.
Everybody look me up.
Thanks.
I'm Guiding D-Light with on the YouTube there. So everybody head over to Guiding D-Light. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you hit the bell. A lot of good inspiration coming. Like I said, I've kind of been in this who am I mode for like 8 months, and I feel like it's finally lifted, and we're finally getting back into the inspiration that I've always wanted to deliver to you guys. So hop on over to the channel and see it out. I do got a website, but it's /Wix, so good luck finding it unless you're catching on a link of a video or something. But glad everybody joined us tonight, and I'm looking forward to it. A last little tidbit I wanted to say about the full moon is not only is that a harvest time that my soul is really wanting to express is obtain it all, but then also set yourself up. I know a lot of people say it's time for manifestation, or it's time for your manifestations to come true. I believe it all is now. So really tap into not only setting new intentions, but also, harvesting what you've already created.
Yes. Very good. Thank you. We got Rachel here saying she's liked all our feeds. Thank you, Rachel. We love you.
I don't know about my links because I don't have any straight up like www dots links. But if you go to Cory Mackinnon on YouTube, or go over to Founders of Light, there's links in those description box, especially to our Patreon. You can find us over on Instagram. I say us because Will and I have creations over on Instagram through Holding the Field, and link in the description box too for Galactic Fairy Portal, where she makes these really beautiful, gorgeous wire art portals.
Look at that!
Crystal, yes, and I know you like
Nice.
it. So
let me see if I can make
on
you
top.
a solo layout.
So this is what beloved Willow does. So she shines light in her fairy portal. So these are wrapped with intention. This is our golden dragon portal. So it's got a golden dragon crystal quartz here. And this is wrapped with intention to connect back to your sacred dragon. And so she sells these and wraps these herself. So these are available through the Galactic Fairy Portal website. So link is in the description box. And then also you can check out more of our work out over on Holding the Field on Instagram. We also have a Patreon where we have created a Quantum Light library, which I'm smiling because I know Linda's been doing the same thing with the Quantum Light library, where we're basically working with archival memory to reestablish our connection to the Akashic records and bringing in these DNA codes. And so we do this through the crystals. And so we also have bracelets for sale. We just started making jewelry as well. So shout out to Willow for making this bracelet. So we started working with, this is basically a positivity and a success bracelet. It works with Bumblebee Jasper, which is a lot of that sun, that solar plexus, that bee energy, which helps us to connect to more positive outcomes, especially in our day-to-day engagements. Bronzite here, which helps us with divine alignment, and bronzite also is kind of like a keep away the BS kind of an energy. Selenite here, of course, to help to clear all of these, to clear all the crystals as well. So we work with selenite to stabilize and to cleanse our crystals. Selenite here for abundance and for that successful outcome of our future realities. And then seraphinite, connecting back to that seraphim DNA, connecting back to our archangelic or to our dragon. And so more to be revealed with that. But so we have, this is our first bracelet that we've created. It's also got brass hematite skulls. Skulls help me to connect back to my shaman, help me to connect back to my master teacher. So a lot of this, that establishment back to the guides, to the higher self, the reconnection point, and all of these are run energy currents, so it helps us with our energy bodies as well. So that's all done through Galactic Fairy Portal. Oh, I love that.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's beautiful.
That's a chakra
That's
set for you guys.
That's awesome.
Take a picture.
That's the God code right there.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was just flipping through my notebook and I realized, guys, I've almost got 90 sheets completely full of hand scribbled pictures and notes. Time to make it into a workbook.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. There you go, Derek.
Derek, you need to do that. Definitely. Hey, Echo. Yeah, wow. It's so cool when you hear people doing different things. They're stepping into their light, offering your services. Like we're all a lot of us on the same page doing some things or other things or whatever. We're all here like just supporting each other, and I love that about our community. So yeah, just check out everybody's stuff, and if you guys, while you're still here in the chat, if you want to type a message in, and you can, if you want to put your Instagram link or another link, if you haven't done it yet, go ahead and put that in there. or if you want to message it to me, and then I'll put it in the description box later. Okay. So,
and we got a shout out to Linda here who came up with the Ascension map.
ascensionmaps.com.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. You have to get on the Ascension maps if you haven't. I've only made my way stumbled about halfway through it, but
well,
the amount of information
Yes.
that's compiled in one spot is like a really good spot to start out, especially if someone tuned into us without really understanding what they were getting into tonight. Head on over and do your map.
Thank
Definitely.
you. I really appreciate that, Derek. Yeah, I did put a lot of work into it, but Spirit led it. Spirit led the whole thing. So the whole process was like a joy. And it was a very brief project, during the time that it was made, but it's a permanent thing. And you guys can go over there for free. And if you want to help support me in my work, it'd be great because, finances and all that. But if you have some and you want to do that, you can make a donation and get a PDF version of 2 of the books that I put out based on Ascension maps. One is the scripts, one is the whole journey. Or you can get the physical books too. And if you don't want to do that or you don't have money, you can still take the whole journey for free online. So yes, thank you very much for bringing that up.
It's
I wasn't
free,
even
people. Go do it. It's free. You're gonna learn something.
I've
Yes,
been making
definitely.
jewelry too. Yeah, it is free. It's free.
Wow,
yeah, I've
that's
been making
beautiful.
jewelry too. So this is a piece I made today. So just a little show and tell. I love making it. Did you see it, Cory?
Awesome.
No.
Oh, here.
Oh my gosh.
that
What's
gorgeous?
the stone?
I knew you were going to ask me that. I don't know. It's not turquoise though. I want to say chrysocolla, but I'm not sure.
Oh, chrysocolla is so beautiful. Okay.
Maybe it is turquoise. I don't know. Somebody gave it to me just this past week, and it just called to me, and it just wanted a little.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. All right, guys. Well, any final thoughts before heading out? Final tips, final soul inspirations, or any last words of wisdom?
Just kind of be easy on yourself, with this full moon coming in. It's time to really go inside and find that balance. Take the time, go outside. I'm going to go out with stuff tomorrow night, the full moon. So yeah, just be easy on yourself because you only know what you know now, and things change daily and your perspective changes, and we've got a lot coming in. We definitely do. So yeah, take it easy on yourself and just make sure you take care of your energy. We're going into Virgo season, and that's a time for that. Your daily energy, ground, do what you need to do. And
that's beautiful, Bev. I was going to say the exact same thing. We're obviously linked up.
We must be, Derek.
Yeah, go easy on yourself, but then in the same sense, as the train of transmutation goes,
yes,
I love it.
I
love it.
Yourself out of the chaos and out of the muck, right? Allow yourself to really break away. And what do I mean by that is the chatter, the distraction, like somebody once told me they can never turn their mind off. Well, you can find a way. And if you haven't found a way yet, I don't think you'd be on this channel yet. So go free your mind and allow that chatter to turn off. And you're really going to be puzzled and actually, what's the word? I don't really want to say amazed because there's going to be less than amazed. It's going to be more of an awesome experience. But you're going to see exactly where Spirit wants you to be. And in the same sense, you're going to see what's going to propel you down or up Jacob's ladder in a way, however you want to look at it. What's going to help you get down the path to more aspects integrating with you, right? To more energies being able to flow through you. It's little tiny teeter steps. Sometimes we don't know where to step, but as soon as we allow that intuition to turn on, we start following the synchronicities, and what we think starts happening, and we start grooving. I mean, it happens so fast, right? So this full moon, this blue moon, this new galactic calendar start, everything you want to put on top of it, it's the perfect opportunity. You find that little bit of spark inside you that can propel you, where exactly you desire to be, right? Because if you have the desire, now you just got to feel it, believe it, and achieve it. And with that, may you all have a blessed blue full moon.
Yes. Thank you. Cory?
So I just rolled 2 dice. The 4 and the 12 came out, which same thing. It's like that foundations, that grounding, but also your cycles. I feel like once we start to understand our sacred cycles, the more we start to understand our body and the way we relate to reality. 12 is that astrological number, right? So, Bev being the astrologer is know your cycles, know your planetary alignments. The 12 is also about the measurement. We look at the calendar year. We look at how much 12 has been prevalent throughout history. 12 also to me was speaking about the multidimensional language, which while there is all this etheric, beautiful stuff How do we ground it within the form? We're meant to be the consciousness here in form. While it does exist up here, we ground and anchor it into the now. But there's a lot of this grounding, stabilizing, know your cycles, know yourself. And when you know thyself, when you know thyself, you have a lot of self-empowerment. Here's why.
Yes.
We take the power back from others to be able to make decisions for us, right? And we can start to choose from within the internal truth, the internal voice of clarity. There's also a little bit here about measurement here, which is that the little things, like when you look at the goals and the aspirations, when we come to seed things, the action steps we take as well to get to that next now moment, right? Which is that sometimes on our trajectories, when we want to manifest those beautiful realities, there's action steps we have to take every single day, and actions that we need to take to reach that goal. So what are those things that we need to do? What is the grounded practical plan as well for our day-to-day lives? Because this is understanding that when we go through things like, as we're awakening through the storm, if there's any form of disruption, right? How do we stabilize, right? When there are quantum ripples through the field, or we're having moments that are bringing up occurrences from within us or triggers, how do we breathe into that space, rest, allow, and align to a space of thriving? Especially when it comes to our mental and emotional fields as well. And this has been a big one, is recognizing that when we are going through these disruptions, the emotional, mental, and causal fields will have these little reverberant, and that usually can start to instigate a little bit of that fight. And so what we're doing is, how do we work to be able to smooth these ripples in our reality, which is it through breath? Is it through calmness of voice? Is it through opening, grounding out in nature? Those kinds of things are really, really important. But also to self-love is a big one. Right? Self-love is a big one, because as we're
you just touched like 4 more aspects. Like
you did.
I think we almost touched all the aspects tonight. Wow.
Okay, well,
what a show.
That's cool.
Well, I know you weren't going back to the numbers because you finished them, but you did say 4 and 12, right?
Yes.
Okay, so 12 is also a 3, and that's divine trinity within you and me. It's all about what you see and how you are being in life and showing up. So the 4 plus the 3, that's a 43, that's a 7. That's God's favorite number. 7, super 7. We're in the 7 vibration this whole year. So there, you picked the perfect, and my initial L, when you turn it upside down, is 7. So I was showing you my jewelry. I always put on the back of my jewelry, I always try to build an L into it somewhere.
Oh, that's beautiful.
or 2 L's. Because that's my name, Linda Light. So there's 2 L's.
Cool.
But yeah, I always try to build an L into it. So so when we're talking about these things and you pick the numbers like that, seventh dimensional frequency is where the plasma starts. That's where the plasma starts flowing, where it hasn't been hijacked, or misled or misguided or used for another narrative and controlled and siphoned or any of that. We go above 5D, go up to 7D, infinity. Right. For all to see, eternity. And then my soul's going to start rapping or singing, and I won't.
But I gotta say one thing, Linda. The full moon is at 7 degrees. You can't make this up. You just cannot make it up. I thought I'll let her get through that, but I gotta say that. Yeah, I had to say
this girl is on fire.
So it's like the moment of the year then, right?
Wow. Okay. Yes. Well, jeez. Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got one
it's
more
all connected.
Everybody
go.
Enjoy yourself up to the equinox as well, and enjoy the light dominating, because we're going to come to a center point, and we just need to take in these next 3-4 weeks as much as we can, as much light as we can.
Yeah. Derek, you may be getting a surprise road trip visit. Just saying.
Ready.
Just saying.
Yes, just saying. Coming up soon.
I got plenty of space to pop a tent.
We'll let you know. Awesome.
Cool.
All right, guys. Well, I think we should close that out now. You guys are all awesome. Thank you for joining us on whatever channel you're watching.
Yeah, thanks.
We love you. This has been a really unique and special time tonight. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. Cory, Derek, Bev, and everybody here watching us tonight. So thank you for being here. We love you. Just don't be food. And I was going to say something funny, Bev. Do you remember what our last going out was? And I can't remember what it was.
I wrote it down and I forgot.
All right, we'll get it next time. We like to have a little hook on the end of like some kind of something funny, but just behave yourselves and have fun. And if you're hanging in there, just let go and see what happens. So,
be you, stay true.
Peace. Peace.